Japan is about to make a decision that won't make headlines. There won't be protests. There won't be an announcement. But 20 years from now, it will explain everything. Why Japan either stayed influential or quietly slipped behind. And the dangerous part? Once this decision is made, there's no reversing it. Japan is often described as stable, calm, predictable, controlled, but stability can be a strength or it can be a delay. For decades, Japan managed its challenges through patience and precision. Small changes, careful language, no sudden shocks. That approach worked until time itself became the enemy. Now, Japan faces pressures that don't wait. A shrinking workforce, a rapidly aging population, regional uncertainty, and a global system that rewards speed, not caution. And for the first time in a generation, doing nothing is no longer neutral. At its core, Japan isn't deciding what policy to change. It's deciding how it wants to remain relevant. Not louder, not more aggressive, but relevant in a world that is becoming more fragmented, more competitive, and less forgiving. And there are only 3 realistic paths forward. Each looks reasonable. Each solves a different problem, but only one reshapes Japan's future instead of locking it in place. The first option is the safest. Japan preserves its current model. Gradual reform, institutional continuity, avoiding disruptive change. This path prioritizes social harmony and predictability, and on the surface, it looks responsible. But here's the risk no one likes to say out loud. Stability without adaptation becomes stagnation. Demographics continue to shift, productivity gains a slow, influence erodes, quietly, steadily. Japan doesn't fail under this option. It simply becomes easier to overlook. The second option is more dynamic. Japan leans harder into external systems, deeper integration, stronger alignment, greater reliance on global networks. This path buys time. It helps offset internal constraints without forcing painful domestic change. But dependence comes with a trade-off. The more Japan relies on external stability, the less control it has when that stability weakens. In a world becoming more unpredictable, reliance can quietly turn into vulnerability. The third option is the most difficult and the most consequential. Japan chooses structural reinvention, not cosmetic reform, not surface-level adjustment, but confronting the systems that determine long-term resilience, labor flexibility, institutional rigidity, demographic adaptation, political risk tolerance. This path creates friction. It challenges norms. It creates resistance. But it also restores something Japan is slowly losing under the other 2 options: control over direction. Here's the truth most discussions avoid. Japan's core problem isn't population decline. It isn't competition. It isn't pressure from outside. It's time compression. Every year of delay narrows future choices. Option 1 delays until options disappear. Option 2 trades independence for breathing room. Only structural reinvention preserves flexibility. This isn't about ambition. It's about whether Japan still gets to choose its future or inherits it. Once Japan commits to one of these paths, the effects compound. If it protects stability, Japan remains calm, but slowly sidelined. If it leans outward, Japan stays relevant, but constrained by forces it doesn't control. But if it rebuilds its core, something shifts. Japan stops reacting. It starts shaping. That shift changes how partners calculate trust, markets evaluate risk, and the region interprets stability, not overnight, but permanently. The most powerful decisions rarely feel dramatic. They happen quietly, through policy choices, institutional design, and what leaders choose not to postpone. Japan is making one of those decisions now, and 20 years from today, the outcome won't feel surprising. It will feel inevitable, because this wasn't about whether Japan could change. It was about whether it chose to before time chose for it.